The consequences of Roe's demise are so horrifying to me and to millions of American women and men. I want to ask you once again, appealing to your sense of compassion, to whether or not you believe the Constitution protects a woman's right to abortion.
Senator,
I'm sorry to interrupt.
let me just ask you this. John Roberts said that Roe versus Wade is the settled law of the land. Do you believe it is the settled law of the
As
land?
a judge, it is an important precedent.
Roe versus Wade is an important precedent of the Supreme Court.
Senator, what I will commit is that I will obey all the rules of stare decisis.
The Supreme Court has made clear that the issue of marital privacy is protected, that the state cannot infringe on that without a compelling interest.
Senator, again, I would tell you that Roe versus Wade, decided in 1973, is a precedent of the United States Supreme Court. It has been reaffirmed.
That if a question comes up before me about whether Casey or any other case should be overruled, that I will follow the law of stare decisis, applying it as the court has articulated it, applying all the factors, reliance, workability, being undermined by later facts and law, just all the standard factors.
Been reaffirmed many times. Casey is precedent on precedent, which itself is an important factor to remember.
And the Supreme Court has reaffirmed the decision, sometimes on the merits, sometimes in Casey, based on stare decisis. And I think that when a decision is challenged and it is reaffirmed, that strengthens its value.
And I think we all feel strongly in this country about our privacy. I do. I believe the Constitution protects the right to privacy.
When it rains, I don't mind being lonely. COVID on the rise, pero shh, no digas nada. And in regards to SpaceX launching to Mars, Brownsville, you are not the site. And I'm sorry, ladies. It is Monday, 7:05 a.m., June 27th. My name is Frankie Olivo, and this is Good Morning Brownsville. Well, I do have some good news to share with you. It seems as if we should be getting some sort of rain. We have been tracking since this weekend the movements in the Gulf of Mexico. Right now, the city of Brownsville is looking at a warm day, 94 degrees. The city of South Padre Island, for the Cabrera boys and Jason, is at a cool 84 degrees. The western part of Starr County, Zapata, Rio Grande City, is at in the triple digits. And again, this was a good weekend to be out on the beach. But again, we have been monitoring this movement out in the Gulf. We do anticipate that there will be some sort of rain. Heavy rain is possible for the coast of Texas, and we are monitoring this. But we do have a 20% chance that within the next 3 to 5 days we should be getting some good rain. And as we see, the city of Brownsville, Corpus Christi, we should be hit with a good amount of rain. Could this possibly turn into a tropical storm? That is something that we have been monitoring closely. But nonetheless, there is a tropical depression that is developing within the next few days that should be making inland by Wednesday or Thursday. And again, a 50% chance of showers. And again, it's been a while. It's been a while since we've gotten some good amount of rain. So if you're going to wash your car, make sure you wait until the weekend. Make sure you wait until Friday, even though this weekend is going to be very busy, 4th of July weekend on Monday. But we do expect 50-60% chance of rain on Wednesday and Thursday. So once again, if you are going to be washing your car, make sure you give it a couple of days, because we are supposed to get a lot of rain. Now, COVID, I know we don't want to hear about this, and I know we're tired of the past 2 years. All we heard on the tube was COVID. deaths. Lately, we have seen how Cameron County has had large percentage of its residents be vaccinated. And one thing, and I don't know about y'all, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought once people started getting the vaccine, we were going to hear less and less of individuals contracting the virus again. And you and I know somebody that has been vaccinated probably 4 times, twice with the shots, 2 with the boosters. And what have we heard? That they still, some of them have succumbed to the virus. Now, again, these vaccinations, in my opinion, were done too fast. Nothing of this magnitude gets pushed. But again, the world was at a standstill. The world was at a pandemic. Now, have you heard of COVID cases going around lately? And I hate to be that person that brings you bad news, but COVID is on the rise again. But shh, nobody wants to hear about that. We've been monitoring cases throughout the state of Texas. We have seen how hospitals have seen an increase in cases. In North Texas, they have seen a rise in COVID cases. Here, a couple 150 miles away from us in Nueces County, Corpus Christi. Again, the counties are seeing that that their residents have been susceptible to this virus, and there is a large amounts of individuals once again contracting this virus. Here, more importantly, locally in Cameron County, we had a press release done by our Cameron County Judge, Eddie Trevino, who did state that 15 Cameron County employees did test positive. Now, again, many have questioned and saying, good morning, Mr. Garcia. Thank you so much for tuning in, sir. We're just talking right now about COVID. And we did mention, I'll bring it up just for you. We did mention that Nueces County has seen its cases of COVID rise again. So we do hope and pray that you and your family are safe, my man. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you have a great start to your week. And say hello to all the beautiful people in Corpus Christi and Nueces County. Thank you so much for your time and your attention, sir. But we have heard and we have seen how this COVID has been ramping up here locally. Judge Eddie Trevino did state that 15 Cameron County employees throughout different departments have contracted this virus. And if we look at the state of Texas, more in particular in Cameron County, and the latest results that I could find were as of Friday, June 24th of 2022, how the average cases in Cameron County have been close to 200. Now, again, this is something that we haven't been hearing as of late, because remember, whenever we were locked down, whenever we were doing the pandemic, all we heard was hundreds of cases here in Cameron County and Hidalgo. As of late, we haven't been hearing as much. Are people tired of it? Are people, it's over and done with, whatever happens, happens. It feels that way. It feels as if you and I have already shut down all this COVID talk. Fauci was on the news for 2 years telling us what we should and shouldn't do. Many individuals have stated, hey, the government has overstepped their boundaries and have done things that have, hey, we live in America. We want less government. But nonetheless, COVID cases are on the rise again. And we do encourage individuals who do want to take every precaution necessary. The city of Brownsville will be having a free vaccination clinic today, June 27th, and tomorrow, Tuesday, June 28th, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. lunchtime at the Iglesia Bautista. That church is located on North Vermilion, 309 North Vermilion. So again, we have been seeing a rise in COVID cases. If you or your family, and again, I always state, you do whatever you think is best for you and your family to make sure that you all are safe and healthy. But again, the world we live in, it seems as if now COVID and all these different viruses are here to stay. And this is our new norm, unfortunately. What before individuals were scared of atomic bombs during the 50s and 60s, and that was a scare. Ooh, atomic bomb. Now it's biological warfare. Now it's diseases. Now it's viruses that, as we all saw, put the world at a standstill. Now, I'm not going to go into the whole, it was created in Wuhan, which it was. But you and I can both agree we're tired of COVID. It seems as if before we would listen, we would pay close attention to what the experts have to say. Now it's kind of like, I already got the booster, I should be good. But no, individuals are still contracting the virus, even though even though they are fully vaccinated. Now, SpaceX has put Brownsville on the map. And who can forget, and we've spoken about this previously, how the United States for many, many years dissolved their space exploration program. And again, I'm a history buff. Back in the 60s, 50s and 60s, we were in a race to space against China and more importantly, against Russia. We wanted to be the first ones to be able to say, hey, we've been into orbit, we landed on the moon. As you can all expect, this race back in the 50s and 60s was very competitive. And what we have seen since the 60s is that the United States really hasn't done much to go back to the moon. And again, many conspiracy theorists, and I know you're tired of hearing it, but they question and say, well, if it was done back in the 60s, when technology was not as prevalent as it is today, why haven't we gone back? Well, President Obama was that administration that said, you know what, we need to go back into space. We need to make this an ongoing thing, because the United States has not directed its attention as it should to space exploration. And now with Elon Musk trying to make commercial flights to space a possibility. But what we have seen here locally in the city of Brownsville is that we were sold on the idea that Brownsville, the city of Brownsville, Texas, will be the launching site to Mars. Back in 2013, 2014, when the idea was pitched to Cameron County and the commission, it was with the idea that this will be the destination. This will be the launching site to Mars. And who can forget the excitement and the joy that many of us felt that said, hey, finally, Brownsville is going to benefit in some way or another from SpaceX and from Elon Musk. We have seen how the housing market has gone crazy as of late. But nonetheless, Brownsville to Mars, when Elon Musk made that pitch, he did state that, hey, Brownsville, your city, will be the one that will catapult humanity in saving mankind. What a big honor that is. Wouldn't you think? That here, the city of Brownsville, on the border by the sea and beyond, would be the destination site where we would change the history of mankind, where the city of Brownsville will be talked about for many years and say, hey, that was the place. Back in year 3010, 3022, they're going to talk back and say, hey, look, Brownsville, that is where it all started, right? Well, that was the idea, and who can argue with what has transpired since then? Ever since 2013, 2014, we have seen how Starbase, Boca Chica Beach, has garnered the attention of people throughout the world. We have seen how businesses have relocated to the city of Brownsville because of SpaceX. We have companies such as Paragon and other high-tech companies that are moving their companies here locally to be closer to SpaceX. And we have seen how that has changed the whole dynamics of our city. We could talk about gentrification. We could talk about the housing market. But what you and I could agree on is that the world now knows how before Brownsville was known as, oh, you're that city by South Padre Island, right, where we go party for spring break. Now Brownsville is known that, oh, you're that place where the world's richest man lives. Brownsville is SpaceX, it's Starbase, right? The city is on the map. But it was sad to hear. And again, is this chatter? Is this chisme? Is this innuendo? You know, what we try to do here at Good Morning Brownsville is we always try to present the information, what's out there. I encourage my community to follow this page, SpaceX Boca Chica Group. They do a great job of making sure that all the information, whether that's in regards to the Raptors, to the different rockets, and all the latest activity that is going and coming. Again, they're monitoring that road, and they're seeing the different the different activity that has transpired. Well, on this page, it was stated that SpaceX is building launching pads for Starbase, and the launches won't be in Brownsville, as we all expected, but that the launching sites will only be in Florida, in Cape Canaveral, and that Boca Chica Beach will only be used as a testing ground. And once the mess is all done, once they've been able to make the changes and proper modifications needed to be able to send a rocket into space, then that is when they're going to send their product to Florida. But again, SpaceX, Brownsville to Mars, right? That is the idea. That is something that we were sold on. But again, is this factual? Did this person that did provide this information, and he did say that he did speak with an assistant IT director who, he just let it slip out. Again, the ultimate one that, and we have seen as of late, how SpaceX, Elon Musk, they have spent large amounts of money, close to $1 billion on infrastructure. As of late, the FAA, they did set the preliminary steps in motion for SpaceX to be able to have that clearance for launching. But again, the important thing is Brownsville to Mars. That was the idea. We would hope that this is this is still something that we could make into a reality. There's also other talks, and again, ultimately the one that decides, of course, is the FAA and Elon Musk. There's also talks about SpaceX going to Australia. That now Australia, with all their green energy and their geographic location, that is the ideal spot to launch SpaceX. Now, let us not forget, Elon Musk is a businessman, and he will do as he sees fit. He could say, "Hey, Brownsville, you're not what I was. You're not what I wanted. You're not what I expected." It's like that marriage right now. We are in the honeymoon. What if Elon Musk says, "You know what, Brownsville, it's not going to work out. I thought this was for me, but it doesn't seem that way." Is Brownsville the Sancha? Are we second fiddle to Cape Canaveral? It seems that way. And back in 2013, 2014, when this idea was first brought up, Boca Chica to Mars, we thought, okay, are they going to close down Cape Canaveral? Is it great to have multiple locations to be able to work in tandem and see which site is better? Of course, any businessman, you always have to have plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Of course, you have to have a contingency plan to say, hey, if this doesn't work out, this is what we're going to do. Now, is Brownsville the side chick? Do we only get Elon whenever it doesn't go right in Cape Canaveral? Now, I know what you're saying, Frankie. Come on, now you're over exaggerating. But again, we were sold on Boca Chica to Mars. This is what Brownsville is going to be known by. On the border, by the sea, and our new slogan states and beyond. Again, I am one that I am torn with this situation. As I have previously stated, I am a big believer in the city of Brownsville. I do want to see our city as that city on the hill where we dominate commerce, where we dominate not only our international commerce, but throughout the world. And SpaceX is something that could provide us, could be that ticket for us. But at the same time, are we doing it with the idea that we are destroying our ecosystem? We are destroying our wildlife. And I feel as if, and correct me if I'm wrong, ladies and gentlemen, but I feel as if society or here residents in the city of Brownsville are like, it's okay. Nobody was using SpaceX. Nobody was using Boca Chica until SpaceX got here. Then everybody had a big fit. Like, oh, that's my beach. I don't know what. Are we saying, you know what? I'm willing to make a couple bucks at the expense of my beach? But again, the argument goes, and I will be talking about this in a later segment, but who has benefited from SpaceX? Has it been the residents? Have we seen a dip in the housing market? No, it has gone up. Have we seen jobs in the hundreds of thousands? I would say hundreds, possibly, but those jobs are, mediocre jobs. Yeah, here and there you'll get an engineer, a welder here from the Rio Grande Valley, but for the most part, most jobs that pay big bucks, they're from people from the outside. And I had a friend yesterday text me because I ran it by him and I said, hey, what do you think about this? He's like, well, Frankie, he's like, nobody's making money. It's only SpaceX. Yeah, the company is bleeding money in Cape Canaveral and here in Boca Chica Beach. They're losing billions of dollars. But the saying goes, who is benefiting from it? It seems as if the politicians, it seems as if they're reinvesting downtown to try and target SpaceX crew to party down there, to spend their money down there. But in actuality, you know where they spend their money at? South Padre Island. They got condos. They go to Louisiana. They go to Vegas. They don't really spend the money here. But again, Boca Chica to Mars. That is what we were sold back in 2013, 2014, when that MOU was created. That Brownsville will be the launching site to Mars. But there is chatter already, and many have tried to confirm this, that Cape Canaveral will be the one. Cape Canaveral will be the launching site to Mars, and not Boca Chica Beach. Now, the Supreme Court this past week made two very important decisions. One, we reported on Friday how the state of New York, now it would make it legal for them to have a concealed gun license. And that, caused many to freak out and say, hey, New York is a concrete jungle. How is this decision by the Supreme Court going to affect our daily lives? Well, the Supreme Court did it not once, but they did it twice. And they overturned key decisions that affect our daily lives. By a vote of 6-3, the Supreme Court did overturn Roe versus Wade. And this was something that ended 50 years of federal abortion rights. And as we can all agree, it is difficult. It is difficult for one to tell a woman, or to tell anybody nonetheless, what they should do with their body. I'm sorry to state that we failed our women. The interesting thing about this case is that this decision will go back to legislators. It will go back to our individual states. And as we all know, Texas right now is heavily in favor against abortion rights. And what we have seen that this has caused is an uproar. Many individuals, shortly after the news broke out that they were going to overturn the Roe versus Wade case, which gave the women the opportunity to have a safe abortion and access to a safe abortion, they will no longer be able to have that benefit. We did see how throughout the country there was large amounts of protests. Many politicians were very vocal and said, "Hey, this is the worst thing that could happen to our society." Here locally, on the Cameron County courthouse, the steps at the courthouse, we saw how there were many individuals who did come out and protest yesterday and did state, that they were in disagreement with the Supreme Court decision. We saw individuals who gathered to show their displeasure and, ultimately saying, "My body, my choice." Now, again, this decision was what it's going to cause. It's going to cause for the legislators, for those in power in each and every state, to be able to decide. But again, how can you go up against the Supreme Court? Here locally, if you have a case in Cameron County, whenever you make an appeal, you go to the 13th Court of Appeals. If you don't like that decision, you have a chance to go to the Texas Supreme Court. If you don't like that decision, you go to the Supreme Court. There's steps. But what happens whenever the highest court of the land say that this is not good? Who are you gonna cry to? Again, you can make an appeal. It's called it's not called an appeal per se, but it is what it is. But how can you go up against the rulings of judges? They are the ones that are ultimately going to decide. You don't go to a third party and say, "Hey, I don't like his decision. What do you have to say?" It's going to go back to the lawmakers. Now, AOC was somebody who was very vocal, and she stated, "Hey, these individuals, and the clip that I played earlier was from the interview process when they are going to be, before they are sworn in, before they are voted on, to see if they would be able to nominate these Supreme Court judges. They are grilled. And the video that we showed earlier is that each and every Supreme Court judge that they asked on the Roe versus Wade case and other landmark cases, they said, hey, look, that has already taken precedent. I'm not here to make waves. That's the law. I'm not going to challenge that. And again, if you want to go see the tape, see it again from the very beginning. Each judge that did overturn Roe versus Wade, in their interview in front of the committee, they stated, hey, I'm not touching that. Why? Because that is already set in stone. That is already precedent. And that is something that you want to hear as of late. Judge Kavanaugh and Judge Skolchich, he's got a funny name, I do apologize. But these two judges, these two Supreme Court judges, whenever they were asked, what is your take? What is your take on Roe versus Wade? They said, hey, I'm not going to touch it. That is something that is already set in stone. Now, did they lie just to get in power? Maybe. And what has that created? That has created an uproar amongst our society. And we previously spoke about how vasectomies now could be a way for us to even out the playing field. How we expected women to tie their tubes, to have, to cut off the reproductive system, so to speak. Well, now it's turned to anger and said, hey, vasectomies, y'all need to do your part. Y'all need to make sure that y'all are taken care of. Why? Because that's healthcare, right? Now, is this good for society? Again, it is difficult for an individual to tell women what to do. I have been a firm believer in not judging people. And again, it is difficult because that is very personal. Whenever you tell an individual, it is wrong. It is wrong for you to get an abortion. Why? Because you are killing somebody. That is murder. It is wrong to tell that individual. Why? Because at the end of the day, they are in control of their body, of their reproductive system. That is, according to, to many, according to us, that is a God-given right. Again, I don't want nobody to tell Frankie Oliva what to do, just as I won't tell no woman what to do. But is this good for society that we are getting rid of abortions? Or are we neglecting our women who could possibly have abortions that are unsafe? It's unfortunate that I feel as if our country set, and this Supreme Court case did set our country back hundreds of years. And we have seen how women have been fighting for equality, whether that was through the vote, whether that was through the reproductive system. We have seen how women have always had an uphill battle in their profession and in their daily lives. What will this bring from this case? Many are scared to say that the Judge Clarence, is it Thomas? Judge Clarence, that he did state, or he did allude to, that the next thing that they're going to tackle is contraception and same-sex marriage. Now, this case has been very important. Why? Because it has shown how conservative the Supreme Court is. Now, while we don't agree with this decision, it is important for us to make sure that we do everything possible to make sure that we put individuals in power that are going to do what's right and what's best, not only for women, but for our community. Now the power of abortions will go back into the legislators' hands of each and every state. I encourage my women to keep on fighting. I feel as if this Supreme Court case set back our women hundreds of years. Why? Because all they have been wanting in life is equality, and for us to give them that away. Even though I don't agree with abortion, we have taken that freedom of choice of them. Again, my body, my choice. And that, my friends, is the rest of the story. When it rains, I don't mind being lonely. We should expect heavy rainfall Tuesday to Thursday, 50-60% chance. There is a tropical storm developing out in the Gulf. We do anticipate that by Wednesday we should be receiving scattered showers from here up until Corpus. So if you have to wash your car, hold off some days, and Mother Nature will take care of that for you. COVID is on the rise, pero shh, no digas nada. We have seen how cases throughout Texas have skyrocketed. Here locally in Cameron County, we are starting to hear people, but nobody wants to hear that. Ain't nobody got time for that. It seems as if we are all tired and already tuned out COVID and all this Fauci talk. But brace yourselves, COVID, once again, is on the rise. When it comes to SpaceX launching to Mars, Brownsville, you are not the site. We did get a word that Cape Canaveral is the launching site, and that Brownsville would just be a testing ground. How will that affect our housing market? How will that affect our stance on SpaceX? I don't feel it would affect it at all. But I think individuals are kind of on the point where, hey, we'll take whatever we can get from SpaceX, unfortunately. And I'm sorry, ladies. The Supreme Court case that overruled Roe versus Wade 6-3 now made it illegal for individuals to have abortions. Now, who do you appeal to? What is the highest? Who do you go to after the highest court of the land? Say that is wrong. We have done a disservice to our women who have been fighting for many, many years for equality, for their chance to vote, and for they themselves to be in control of their bodies. How will that change our society moving forward? That is yet to be seen. Once again, my name is Frankie Olivo. This is Good Morning Brownsville. It is Monday, June 27th, 7:34 a.m. Thank you so much for your time and your attention. I hope to see y'all here on Wednesday. God bless.